Hey, I hope you've had a great Holy Week. Today is Good Friday, and it kind of seems weird to call this day Good Friday, doesn't it? I mean, this is the day that Jesus was crucified. And when I was a kid, I mean, there was times I was like, this makes no sense. Jesus died this day. Why are we calling it Good Friday? And my little brain, right, I couldn't comprehend what it was all about. And so as we talk about this today, this is the day that Jesus died. Yes, and he died a horrible death. He was arrested. He was beaten. He was flogged. He was the guards and the Roman soldiers pulled his beard out, and they placed this crown of thorns. And when I was a kid, I was like rosebush thorns. No, these thorns were like this long, and they made a wreath out of it, and they pressed it down, and those thorns went into his head, and the blood trickled down, and he was beaten within an inch of his life. I mean, what they described the flogging as the cat o' nine tails. They tied bits of bone and pottery shards and pieces of metal into it, and they would whip them. And Jesus, I mean, he was near death after that whipping. And then they put the robe on him, a fake robe, right, to make fun of him and to mock him. And then they made him carry a cross up a hill. And this is after almost being beaten to death, and then having to submit himself to the Roman authority and go to the top of the hill of Golgotha, the place of the skull. And he and two criminals were crucified that day. And then they tormented him, right? The guards tormented him. The Pharisees and non-believers said, if you're who you say you are, just get down off that cross, man. You saved others, save yourself. One of the thieves bought right into it. But the other thief, he said, man, we're getting what we deserve. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. And Jesus turned to him and said, today you're going to be with me in paradise. And see, when Jesus died, he fulfilled so many prophecies that day. They didn't break his legs like they did the thieves. They broke their legs because Passover was coming, and they had to get him off the crosses because it was illegal in the Jewish custom to have those guys hanging on crosses. So they broke their legs and so that they would suffocate faster. But Jesus was already dead, so they stabbed him in the side with a spear, and blood and water poured out. And that is a sure sign of death when that happens. And Jesus went to the grave that day. They put him in a tomb. And it looked like it was all over. So why do we call it Good Friday? I'll tell you why. Because a lot can happen in 3 days. May God continue to pour out his grace, mercy, and blessings on each and every one of us until we get to meet again. Amen. Amen.